The objective of this lesson is to add fractions and write the sum in fractional form and as a mixed number. When creating an understanding of adding fractions, models and drawings are used to justify sums. In this lesson, multiple ways of justifying answers will be analyzed. Let's look at strategies to prove the problem 3/5 and 4/5 equal 7/5. These strategies will also help students understand the reason why, when adding fractions, the numerators are added but the denominators will remain the same. First, let's use the number line. We begin by drawing a number line greater than 1. Let's draw it to the number 2. We'll partition each number into fifths. 3 jumps of 1/5 each will represent the addend 3/5. Then jump 4 more fifths to add on to the 3/5. We land on 7/5. Notice that the numerators are added, but each jump represents a fifth, so the denominator always stays the same. Looking closely at the number line, we see that we jumped 1 whole and 2/5 more, so the sum of 7/5 is the same as 1 and 2/5. Another way to justify the answer 7/5 is to partition circles or rectangles into fifths. Please note that drawing circles is more difficult, so rectangles are easier for students to represent odd denominators in fractions. 3 sections are shaded in blue to represent 3/5. Then, in another partitioned rectangle, 4 of the fifths are shaded in red. If we join the fifths together, 2 of the fifths are transferred to the first rectangle, making 1 whole. 2/5 of a rectangle are left over, so 3/5 plus 4/5 equal 7/5, or 1 whole and 2/5, which is read 1 and 2/5. Decomposing one of the addends to make a whole is also a strategy your child might use. The thinking is, I know that 3/5 plus 2/5 is 5/5, or 1 whole, so I'll compose 4/5 into 2/5 and 2/5. Adding 3/5 plus 2/5 creates a whole, and the other 2/5 is the fractional part. So the sum is 1 and 2/5. The commutative property can also be used to conveniently add 3/5 plus 4/5. The addends can be reversed, so now the problem reads 4/5 plus 3/5. 3/5 can be decomposed into 1/5 and 2/5. Since 1/5 plus 4/5 makes 1 whole, these numbers could be combined, leaving the fractional part of 2/5. The sum is still 1 and 2/5 written in mixed number form. The commutative property can be used with any of the strategies your child will choose. Some types of problems better lend themselves to a length model, while other types of problems are better represented with an area model. Problems dealing with hoagie sandwiches or distance walked lend themselves better to a length model, such as a number line or a bar model. Problems involving eating pizzas or painting a room would lend themselves better to area models, such as circles or rectangles. The objective for this lesson was to add fractions and write the sum in fractional form and as a mixed number. We met this objective by calculating the sum, justifying with visual models, and writing the answer in both fractional form and as a mixed number.